Distraction, dissipation, and duplicity. I want to talk today about those 3 Ds. The three-dimensionality, if you like, the 3D nature of life outside of a monastery. I speak as an ex-monastic myself. I spent almost a decade in religious life as a Roman Catholic, between one thing and another, in a very, very strict order. It kept us busy morning till night. I'm coming back out into the world. It's been a decade and more since I was out. Been married, and I am married, and been busy in the world teaching and things. But yet, these 3 Ds, I see them as great obstacles, great challenges, crosses, challenges on our road to holiness in the world. Distraction, duplicity, and dissipation. It strikes me that what God wants of us is our hearts. I remember Father Zachariah down in Essex at the monastery. He says that the psalmist says, "I am thine, my God, I am thine, save me," quoting, as I say, from the psalmist. He says it's all very well to say that, but God must see that you mean it. I am thine, save me. He says, well, how do you belong to me if your heart belongs to the Premier League, if your heart belongs to the garbage on the internet, if your heart belongs to current affairs, if your heart belongs to social media, if your heart belongs to, well, we could carry on, couldn't we, ad infinitum. Job, family, career, status, image in the mirror, any number of idols to fall in love with. As John Calvin says, I love that quote, the human heart is an idol factory. Distraction. I was reading today St. Joseph the Hesychast, the writings from the book on the front cover of this video. And his disciples, his followers, are writing posthumously about the saint. And they say everything in his life was built around the night vigil. Like the Carthusian monks today, everything was built around the night prayer, the night vigil that would extend all night long. Everything else was built around it. And the monks say, no matter how hard we'd worked that day, if we were feeling tired, St. Joseph was adamant, you will be doing the vigil tonight. Do the vigil. Fight in the way of prayer. Struggle for prayer. And they talk about their struggles if tiredness was coming over them. They'd go outside, even roll in the snow, do prostrations. Just struggle. And it's beautiful to see how their life was built on that. The aim was to bake the bread. You've got to keep the bread in the oven. If you keep opening the door of the oven, this was something we were taught in monastic life, you keep opening the door of the oven, that bread ain't getting baked, mate. You've got to keep the door shut. And that was usually to tell us to close our mouths, but also all of the sense gates, from constantly peeping at, social media, YouTube, Netflix, whatever, if I'm constantly scrolling, the door is being opened continually. If I go down the shops, I'm aware of that after reading St. Joseph today. I'm going down the shops to go to the post office to post off something vital. Am I calling into the charity shops while I'm at it. You know, looking at the book section when I can't move for books in my wee room. You know, where is the focus of my life? Distraction, dissipation. You know, in the monastic life, you follow a rule generally, and this will keep you busy. Your chores, your duties, your services. What do they call it in Orthodoxy? They call it diakonia. Your diakonia is going to keep you busy from morning till night, serving the monastery, serving others, doing chores. You've always got something to do, either doing your prayer rule, doing work. And it's imposed on you, if you like. You know what you have to do. You get on and do it, and it's God's will for you. You embrace it. In the world, we often have to write our own script. I think if we don't have a script, because we want to just go with the flow, that's when we can meander all over the shop. Something definitely those that follow this channel will have seen me do. I'm a work in progress. I think that's the wisdom of having a prayer rule and a diakonia, a rule of life. Where is the epicenter of my life? Is the epicenter of my life the gym? And really I'm just fitting prayer into it. Like, yeah, I'll do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes at night. Appease my conscience and kind of tune in and keep in with it. But really I'm buzzing and thinking about the gym. Where is the epicenter of my life? Am I living for my career? And that might be to serve your family, to get a bigger house, to do the things you have to do in the world, granted. I'm not a spiritual father, I'm not pretending to be one. I'm just reflecting on these 3 Ds of distraction, dissipation, and duplicity. Everything in Elder Joseph's life was built to serve the prayer. That's what the brothers say about him, the fathers. Everything he did was with that in mind. That was the prize of his life. Everything else was to serve that, to oil that machine, if you like, to enable that to happen. I wonder if our prayer life in the world ever cooks as hot as that, and ever can cook as hot as that, if we allow it to cook as hot as that. Or do we constantly open the door of the oven with the distraction of the phone, the internet, unnecessary dissipations, checking out shops that we don't need to check out on our way to the post office, for example, meandering here and there, which serves to cool the heart, to cool the heart. If you like, to cool the bread, that's when the flies land on it. It's when the demons come with their suggestions. It also reminds me, of course, of, is it Luke 4, the parable of the sower, the seed of the word that was sown among thorns and thistles, which are the cares, the merimna, the logismoi of this world, the dissipations and distractions of this world. I remember a monk said to me some time ago, he said, very humbly, a young monk, he said, all I really hope is that I don't get in God's way. A man serving guests night and day, interacting with many people, who served the Lord for many years now. He said very, very humbly, very simply, my prayer is that I simply don't get in God's way. That was absolutely beautiful. I pray that I don't get in God's way, that I can become a good and clear mirror made in God's image, becoming in God's likeness, where God can shine His light into my heart. But for that, we have to collaborate. We have to show God, hey, I'm here to be a mirror, Lord. I'm here to receive your light. I'm not looking for the created lights anymore. I'm not looking for the fairground. God is patient while we get our acts together. Very, very patient in my case. And yet that's it. That's what I want to talk about today. The 3 Ds of distraction, duplicity, and dissipation. We have to convince God, as Father Zacharias says, of the words of the psalmist, I am thine, O Lord, save me. When God sees, I believe, I do experience, when God sees the effort, in my case, the least minimal effort, He sees it, it comes with, temperature goes up, shall we say. Then it's a case of, okay, let me now maintain that temperature in the week ahead. Like we go to liturgy, we go to the sacraments, the confession, the liturgy, Holy Communion. The temperature's hot. The grace has been given. It's tangible often. And now am I going to let the week dissipate that in 1,000 directions? Some of it's inevitable. We have cares, we have worries. Even the monks have them. But are they necessary or unnecessary? Are they duplicitous, or are they channeled like the life of Saint Joseph the Hesychast towards the prayer? Anyway, just some thoughts. Forgive me. Your prayers.